So I'm here with Deric Cheung, and Deric has worked all summer in preparation for the fall of 2020 for the assignments and the project and everything. Deric, can you summarize what you have done in the summer to get things ready for the fall?
Yeah, over the summer, I've been revising the specifications of the various assignments you'll be working on. I've been making sure that they have fewer errors than before, at least, and that we made changes to the specifications so that they are more coherent and they should be
So one thing that besides the update to the content of the specification and eliminating errors, so the eliminating of bugs in the specification, the process was that we had comments from students from last time of issues that they had, and we went through those comments and we did changes or simplifications or modifications to make sure that at least those problems do not occur again. I'm sure that we're going to have new problems this fall. But another thing, Deric, is the look and feel of the specification. Can you tell us a little bit about that? Because I know that they're going to look very different.
Yeah.
So.
Previously, they were all in pretty much raw HTML, so there's no styling or anything of the sort. But since over the summer, I've been working on porting them over to a documentation tool called Sphinx, which automatically generates styles and keeps everything organized and easy to navigate. Additionally, I've added hyperlinks on different pages to make the documentation easier to read just on its own.
Yeah, so 415 you're going to look very modern and up to date. So Deric is making sure that we look good, and that is thanks to all his work, and he did that entirely on his own to improve the look and feel of the specification, which I think is very important for the students. Another thing, Deric, is the idea of introducing fuzzers for testing. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, new to 415 is the introduction of fuzzers to, in particular, generator, scalc, and vcalc. Gaspria is not available yet. Essentially, they're just tools for procedural generation of test cases, so you don't have to manually generate test cases yourself. You can just make hundreds or thousands in just a few minutes with the use of the tool.
Yeah, so that will be a very important change to 415 and something that's more and more used in the industry. So 415 uses Antler and generates code for this language called Gasprea to produce this intermediate representation in LLVM. Can you comment on the relevance of using these tools, Deric, such as using Antler and then generating code for LLVM?
As far as Antler goes, I've actually never heard of Antler before working on the course, but it is actually very powerful and that can be used to recognize pretty much any language you can think of, except maybe just human languages in particular, because that's more difficult. And LLVM is a intermediate representation that's used all over the industry, and it's pretty much the standard low-level assembly-like language that's used.
So LLVM is very standard in the industry, right? And Antler is a very powerful tool for language, for creating language tools. So that gives the students a very good preparation coming out of 415 to go into the industry. Now, you'll see Deric in the class. He is actually taking 415 this fall, And 415 is a large component of the evaluation is a group project. So a number of you may be wondering if you could have Deric in your group. The news is that Deric actually has already solved all the assignments and actually generated the fuzzers for the assignments and all that, and the compiler project for the fall. So sorry, you cannot have Deric in your group. Deric's evaluation in 415 in the fall will be in a different project. He will be looking into the multi-level intermediate representation for gas prayer, which might change 415 again for the next instance. So if you had to give just a few recommendations for people that are coming to 415, Deric, so that they can do well, what would you recommend?
I would recommend like looking through the LLVM documentation and working on, in particular, one example called the kaleidoscope example, where you get to implement your own small little C-like language and translate it to LLVM IR.
Yeah, so there's lots of self-learning that's required in this course, right? So it'll be very important that students are invested. And what can you say about the programming component of the course? Should the students be expecting to write lots of code?
Depending on your design, you may have to write a lot of the same or very similar code over and over again. But it should be manageable with a team of 3 or 4.
Yes, and Deric has had this experience himself that depends on the design that you make initially, you may end up writing more code than other designs. So consider your design carefully in the beginning of the project, right?
Yeah.
So 515 will be much better than it was before because of Deric's work this summer. So thank you, Deric, very much.
You're welcome.